Hey, good afternoon. Almost said good morning. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Ask the Elephant for April 30th. Today is Thursday. It's Thursday. There we go. All right. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Thursday so far. I still have on Mars, still here on the table because after that stream yesterday, I needed a break. And I turned all the lights off, I turned all the electronics off, and I said, you know what, I'm done for today. And I went and chilled out for the rest of the day. Went to bed early. Oh, it was wonderful. Slept in, had the windows open, it rained. Oh, slept like a baby. One of the best night's sleep I've had in a while. So that was nice. So thank you on Mars partially for that. So there's that. All right. Hey, Tony Boydell in the house as well as the rest of y'all. So welcome. And hopefully you guys are having a good day today. So let's get started. Jonathan says, just finishing the On Mars stream. Fun game, but the bot does take some getting used to. Vital also mentioned in the comment there were a couple rules I was unfamiliar with that make it play even faster. What were those rules, Jonathan? I was pretty focused on the game itself yesterday, so it's possible I missed some of that. But it was nice to see Vital come by. So that was cool. That was good. Dragon, what am I doing awake at 4 a.m.? Where are you again? 4 a.m. Is that Australia? No, that's like 12. Yeah, where are you right now? That's 4 a.m. And thank you, and I'm sorry. I think all apply here. Okay, yeah, Luke's 2 a.m. in Australia. You guys stayed up to hang out. Thank you. That's very, very thoughtful of you. I appreciate it, guys. Tony, once things are normal-ish, we're going to have a Tony Boydell week here on Heavy Cardboard, just FYI. But says, hey, we need a live stream of you playing PAX Premier 2nd Edition with Uli Blenneman. Yes. Yes. That'd be great. Where are you guys playing it right now, Tony? Is it on Vassal? Is it on Tabletopia? Is it Tabletop Simulator? What is it? Adam says, hey, Edward, thanks for all the great content lately. What do you mean lately? Come on. Are you planning on playing Clinic solo? I certainly can consider it, that's for sure. So, maybe? How's that? Morning, afternoon, everybody. Dragon's in New Zealand, that's right. I knew that. You're a Kiwi. I totally knew that. And by the way, let me address an email you sent me the other day, Dragon. Don't sweat it. Not at all your fault. There's a reason I don't post in the guild much anymore. So, yeah, you did nothing wrong. I really, really appreciate it, man. That was thoughtful. Thank you. Orange Pico for this one. However, after yesterday's discovery, we have the Sencha in that one. Staying warm. Cannot wait. It's like building up the anticipation. That might be my favorite cup of tea I've ever had outside of my very first London fog. Sentimental reasons, but also London fogs are amazing, by the way, if you haven't had them. Oh, thank you, Vince in China. Okay, Eric says, could you do a quick explanation of the meaning of Glory to Rome and Grail? All right, I'll do these in reverse order. Grail came from Wildcatters in 2013. So we got a copy of Wildcatters, the original edition of it. And on the player aid in that, the last step is you have to refill the market, add another card, refill the market of cards. And it was a misprint that said refill, and it just stuck. And so when the second edition of Wildcatters came out, it was awesome that Clay put the little QR code thing for the teach and playthrough for heavy cardboard that I did with it. He put it there at the top of the box. That was awesome. But I saw that, I was like, this is amazing. This is the first time we've ever had that. That's cool. Let me move that. And then I went and looked at the player aid, and he corrected it. And I was so bitter. I was so sad. I immediately texted Clay, and I was like, hey, the QR code looks amazing, but why did you fix the misprint? Because sentimental reasons. Now, should he have fixed the reprint or the misprint? I guess, because professionalism. But it would have been sentimental to me had he kept it. But yeah, there you go. So that is the history of refill, and whenever we have to refill something. So there's that. All right. As far as Glory to Rome, well, this comes from the board or the card game Glory to Rome, and there is a certain action in the game called the Legionnaire, or Legion. The Legionnaire. And whenever you play Legionnaire, you can Rome demands some sort of building material. So Rome demands brick, and you play a brick from your hand. And you can demand that from the player on your left and the player on your right. And if they have that in their hand, they have to give you a brick. And then you can take a brick from the common supply. However, if they do not have a brick in their hand, they can show you, I don't have a brick. And then basically they're very kindly telling you to go fornicate with yourself. Glory to Rome. In other words, so the Glory to Rome just kind of stuck. I believe that started with Sweater Mike is the one who did that. So yeah, but yeah, there you go. That is the history of Glory to Rome and Refill. A couple of the little ins on the show. I love that we have those, by the way. You know, like that's really cool that we have things that are like, I don't know, the folks that have been around for a while, they know the history of that stuff, and it's just something that happened, and yeah, it's just cool to me. Eric, Indiana in the house. What up? I'm in a good mood today. I'm in a great mood. It's raining, which I love. I love the rain. I'm very much a duck. I have warm tea. I slept amazing for the first time in a while. Ah, yeah, really good mood. All right, let's see. Oh, Adam says, and also thanks for getting more teaching notes. That is something that I slacked on, but I'm doing a better job of. He's going to have 2 more coming to him today, too. So I'm trying to play catch up. It's going to take a while, but I'm going to try and get him at least a couple every week. All right, so there you go. I was wondering if there's a process you need to do before you give them to him, or whether it could be possible to have the notes sent immediately after you do each teaching stream. Yes, on the latter part, that I'm going to try and do that and get them to him ahead of every stream, provided I've done teaching notes for the game. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It all depends on the game. But yeah, that is the plan. In a perfect world, that is the plan, yes. Aaron asks, any chance for a teach and playthrough of 1862? Yup. Maybe planned. Seriously, the pandemic beard's getting out of hand. And the hair? This is the longest my hair has been. I was trying to figure this out. I think it was 2007. Might have been 2006, 2007. One of those 2 years is when I went back to... I had hair down below my shoulders. It wasn't a good look. I don't recommend that, but that was kind of my way of rebelling back from being in the Marine Corps for 9 years. And when I was on Live at the Bike, for any of you poker aficionados, I was on Live at the Bike back in 2006. And I I don't look anything like I look now, and I played so well on that show. That was so nice. I played 5-5 and that. Anyway, I had long hair, and I watched that, and I was like, yeah, no, So ended up cutting my hair down. So this is the longest it's been since 2006 or 2007, whichever that is. I don't like it. I'm tired of it. I want to get a haircut, but I can't. All right. Uli has the deets. It's on Vassal, Tony says. I will look into it. How's that, Tony? All right? Okay, Luke, you could have lied. Just saying. Says, Edward, I love you, but my 2-year-old woke up a few minutes ago. That's really why I got up. I don't envy that at all, but you know what? Hopefully the dulcet tones will help the baby go back to sleep. All right? Get some rest when you can, Luke. All right? I appreciate you hanging out regardless of the why. Gaming Ninja, hi from the UK. Hi. Oh, I meant all the great forced solo content. Oh, Adam. Okay. During the great lockdown of 2020. That's actually a pretty good way to put it. Yeah, I've actually been really, really enjoying the majority of the solo games. Yesterday was a struggle. I'm not going to lie. I love On Mars, but man, I really don't like the bot. It's just too fiddly for my liking. That was one of the more mentally taxing live streams I've ever done, was yesterday. Legitimate. I mean, let's face it, with the PTZ camera, I'm essentially managing 14 cameras. So let's be clear on that. That's a lot of overhead. I don't mean that, well, I guess literally and figuratively. It's a lot to manage a solo stream, okay? A lot. Especially with the 14 cameras, because everything's pre-programmed. So I've gotten ready for all of that ahead of time. But then it's a matter of making sure I'm switching to the right camera ahead of when I'm going to go to it. And then I'm trying to play the game on top of all of that. But that coupled with having to run that intricate a bot as well, I was just dead after yesterday's stream. That took so much out of me. I think it was a success overall. I wasn't super thrilled with it. It was a little clunky at times, just the stream in general. But man, not my favorite solo game. I will say that. So, see, Mentat says London Fog, favorite drink of all time. That's what I'm saying. By the way, for those that don't know what a London Fog is, in case anyone cares, and if you don't, I'm still going to tell you. It is Earl Grey tea, or you could do English breakfast, or honestly, any kind of black tea would work. And then it has a little bit of lavender steeped with it. Then some steamed and frothy milk on top, and mixed in with a little shot of vanilla, and a little sweetener if you prefer. I do. It's heaven on a cold, rainy day. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Felix. Hello, Felix. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Hopefully see you again sooner rather than later. Says, hi-ho, Edward. Hi-ho, Felix. Requested a 2-player game of The Great Zimbabwe. Were you talking about maybe having a certain Jess do that? I'd be down for that. Mike could do that. Have my brain with me, so I will make note. A moment. So what was it earlier? It was 1862. Oh, PAX Premier, right. PAX Premier, 2nd edition with Uli. Might have to be a Glory to Rome stream if we include Tony Boydell on that, I'm just saying. 1862, which, newsflash, it's already planned. There you go. Let's see. Okay. Lacerda always build when he lands on Mars and never takes the workers. They were just 2 rules I've been personally playing incorrectly, Jonathan says. Okay, all right, fair enough. All right. Tony, what up? How's my favorite fake Scotsman? How are you doing today? Any more cocktail hours planned? Yes, I wanted to do this week as opposed to a cocktail hour, because a cocktail hour has kind of turned into like a very informal interview, just kind of shooting a breeze with somebody within the industry. It's not always going to be a designer or publisher, but maybe. So are there any more officially planned? No, but is there going to be one next week? Yes. So, kinda. How's that, Aaron? All right. And how do you say that? Is it Schmidtkins? Is that it, Aaron? No, Dragon, I appreciate it, but I wouldn't say avoid it. You know what? People want to bag on me, they can bag on me. So be it. I'm learning to have thicker skin. Medication is helping with that. And honestly, let me be honest with you. Seeing that number grow and seeing the turnout on the live streams and hearing the feedback that people are really enjoying the podcast and all of those things, I'm starting to focus more on that than I am on the naysayers that just look for every opportunity to bag on me. And by bag on me, I mean just, trash me, whether it's on BGG, Twitter, Reddit, whatever. There's still plenty of people that do that. But you know what? I'm not going to get... I read, so on my motivation app that I have here, there was a quote, and I'm going to butcher it probably, but I think this is really good for anybody that strives to be better in their lives, is anybody that tears you down isn't worth the time because they're already below you. And it's not in a haughty way, that's said. That's just they're trying to tear you down. It's the crab mentality, right? That they want to tear down what they can't achieve themselves. Okay. So I've kind of taken to looking at it that way, and that has helped immensely. So, yeah. So, no. Dragon, you want to post in the guild? Post in the guild. I'll happily check it out. Don't worry about that, man. Don't worry about that at all. It's almost like this was a seated question, and it really wasn't. Hold on. Pardon me. I apologize, but there we go. Oh, allergies. All right. So Mentat says, any chance for top 10s or top 6s or whatever? With yes or without, though it'd be cool to get her choices in it too. I'll ask her. I'll write it down. So hold on, top 6s. And the reason I said it's funny, it's almost like this was a seated question. So last night, I haven't really played, like seriously played any video games Skyrim. Okay, let me back up. I have not played any serious video games in the better part of 2 decades, in about 20 years, okay? I have a PS3 and an Xbox One, but all they've done is collect dust, okay? So it's been legitimately since, I think the last, I'm doing a poor job of explaining this. This is a long roundabout way to come back to the top 6s and top 10s. So I haven't played video games. I have played a single video game in a single moment in time over the course of the last however many years, right? I've played Skyrim. I've played Fallout 4. And I still haven't beaten Fallout New Vegas. I haven't finished that. Fallout 3. So specific games in time. And I messed around a little bit with Horizon Zero Dawn back when I had Matt as a roommate and he had a PS4. So, but those were individual games that I messed around with. I wasn't into video games. I've kind of gotten back recently into this video game kick. Now, that is not to the detriment of the show. It's basically replacing poker for me right now because I don't want to play online poker. The reason is because that's what I used to do for a living, and that's just not the same enjoyment that I get of going and playing live. And I obviously can't do that right now with COVID and everything that's going on in the world since all the casinos are shut down, plus just being responsible. I don't want to, right? Because let's face it, poker chips are got to be one of the nastiest things in the entire world. So I have started in the last 3 or 4 days, I've really been on this video game kick. And I ordered The Witcher 3. Actually, this goes back to the cocktail hour with Clay, where he and I were talking about video games and everything, and he's raving about The Witcher 3. And I was like, all right, fine. So I finally ordered it on, what is today? Today's Thursday. I think I ordered it like last week. It'll be here on Monday. Okay. However, I don't do anything half-assed. I don't know how to do that. Whenever I get into something, I get into something. And I have been watching a lot in my off time. I'm not watching poker vlogs, really, because there really aren't a whole lot. So I'm watching like top 10 lists and top 20 lists and the best RPGs and open world games and strategy games and third person games on the PS4 and of 2019, of 2020, stuff like this. And last night, I'm going through watching one of these and I paused it. And I looked at Jess and I said, this is what I do for board games. Didn't even occur to me. And I was like, so this is what it's like for anybody out there that watches my stuff and they listen to the top 6s or the top 50 of all time or whatever. I literally had a notebook on my end table and a pen, and I'm writing down names of games to be able to check out because I've been so out of the video game world for 20 plus years outside of knowing about specific games. Like, I probably have a list of like 25 games I want to check out, either already out and have been out for a while or coming out or just came out, stuff like that. And I had this huge epiphany last night, which I realize is probably going to sound stupid to you guys. But I was like, oh my God, this is kind of what I do. And people, will binge these lists and content just in general, right? And like, oh, things that you're going to want to know at the beginning of Witcher 3 and, or Horizon Zero Dawn. It was all common sense stuff that I already knew from playing RPGs my whole life on video games. And I was just like, I had this huge epiphany that I was like, so this is what people do when they watch my stuff. This is amazing. This is awesome. And it was such a cool feeling to be on the other side of it, number one. And I know it sounds so stupid. I realize that. But the other thing that was really, really cool about it was it was exciting to feel that I was able to give back a little bit because it was really, really helpful to me to watch all these things. And then it kind of gave me a new appreciation for how much you guys get value in the stuff that I do, if that makes sense at all. So it was reinvigorating. Not that I needed it, but it just gave me that extra boost for the show. And I'm stoked about this, man. I really am. And it was just a really, really cool, literal epiphany moment that went off. And that was just a really cool thing last night. So anyway, I just really wanted to share that today. So to answer your question, yes, I am definitely going to be doing some more top 6 lists and stuff like that because honestly, I think there's value. I now see the value in all that again. So that's awesome. So yay, video games, right? All right. What? Yeah, so gonna do more top sixes. Deal. The local peanut gallery hollering at me over there. All right, Eric says, so is there any game that you have unexplained love for? Millennium Blades. Minus Steam time there. There are games that do what it does, but a little bit better, but I love that game. Yeah, Millennium Blades. There's so many reasons I shouldn't love that game, but it's just so much fun. Yeah, Millennium Blades is my big one. I still haven't checked out Imperial, but from level 99 that I've heard really good things from. I don't remember. It was last week, week before. I haven't had a chance to check that out. It's been a busy couple weeks. But yeah, dragons. So Glory to Rome is like Go Fish. Yeah, go fish for adults. Ollie asks, are you getting out much, Edward? Nice areas to walk near you? Yes, I have a wonderful town here. Wakefield, Massachusetts, this little, God, why can I never remember Mayberry? There you go. It's like Mayberry, if you ever watched the Andy Griffith show. Andy Griffith? Is that what it is? I think. Anyway, I have this really great little town. We have a cute little main street lined with stores, and then we have a gorgeous lake. I have never once walked around the lake yet, unfortunately. I will do that when the weather gets better. But I honestly, what I enjoy doing is I go for drives more than I go for walks. But I'll go for a drive, roll the windows down, I'll open the sunroof in the 2009 Honda CR-V that I'm rolling, and turn the music up and just kind of enjoy, get some fresh air and get some sunshine that way. So I've been doing that periodically, yeah. All right. I appreciate you asking, Ollie. Thanks. Adam says, great to see you in a great mood, Edward. Thanks. I'm in a really good mood. Eric, duck, huh? Is that why you like Oregon? I'm from Oregon, Eric, originally. Now, I know you guys know me as from Colorado, but I'm originally from Oregon. That's what I claim as home. That's where I'm from. I spent from the age of 9 to 18 between Salem, Oregon and Portland, Oregon. I claim Portland, Oregon as my home. That's where I went to school from 4th grade on up. And yeah, so, I mean, I bounced around between Milwaukee and Oregon City and West Lynn and stuff like that. And then my parents moved to Gresham and then Sandy, Oregon and stuff like that. But it's basically Portland. And so that's my home. Now, my parents have since passed, and I have no ties to Oregon per se, but I still claim that as home. So I'm a huge Oregon Duck fan. I'm not really big into the NBA, but I kind of loosely follow the Trailblazers. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan because my dad is from Dallas. I grew up a Cowboy fan. My stepdad, who I consider my real dad. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan because of Eric Davis and Billy Larkin. I grew up fans of them. Now, obviously, I also was a huge Ken Griffey Jr. fan. Growing up in Portland, had his candy bar, had a bunch of his rookie cards, stuff like that. But really never had an affinity for the Mariners. I was always a Cincinnati Reds fan. I met Ken Griffey Jr. a couple times. He was a bit of a douche to me every time. Every single time I met him, which was really unfortunate. Don't meet your heroes. That kind of makes sense. But let's see, and I'm a Canucks fan because my best friend Jody, who he and I started out poker rivals on Full Tilt and then became very, very good friends. He's from Vancouver, BC, and so he got me into hockey, so I became a Canuck fan. Plus, it's the closest team to Oregon, so that makes sense. That's why I hate the Bruins. Still bitter about the 2011 finals. But yeah, so I'm from Oregon. There you go. I would probably rank it, nowadays, I would probably rank it Oregon Ducks, Cincinnati Reds. Those are my passions. Then the Cowboys, then the Canucks, and then everything else from there. So there you go. Vincent, good afternoon. Cheers, thanks. Everyone's still at work, but getting to listen in today. Agreed, yes. Luke asked, I asked on Twitter as well, but what is your go-to tacos al pastor recipe? I don't know that I have one particular recipe. Oh my, I am already hella behind. It's all right. I plan on this being a few hours. That's fine. But I will send you one. How's that? Okay. The big thing is you marinate your pork. Make sure that marinate it with onions, obviously. And then make sure that you have some kind of grilled pineapple on there, as well as some onion on there, and a salsa of your choice, and some cilantro, unless you're one of those that it tastes like soap to, then omit the cilantro. But other than that, just make corn tortilla, double corn tortillas, first and foremost. Then whatever it is, whatever marinade that you use for your al pastor in your pork, so have that. Then you have to have diced onion, cilantro, again, caveat, the grilled pineapple, and a salsa of your choice, and that you're not going to have a bad al pastor as long as you cover that. And if you prefer a little avocado on top, maybe a little guacamole, that's fine. But anything past that, you're ruining it. Please stop. But that, I'm telling you, now, I did promise that I was going to Mexico City in 2020 for a weekend taco trip. Then COVID happened. So that might be on hold. We'll see. But I guarantee you by the end of 2021, I will. That is a bucket list that I need. My belly needs street tacos from Mexico City. So there we go. Ashbjorn says, when your beard and hair is longer than mine, then the lockdown's been going on too long. I hope to God that doesn't happen, Ashbjorn. For those that don't know, he's very much, is it Swedish or Norwegian? I forget, Ashbjorn. I apologize, I realize they're rivals. He's Scandinavian. Big beard, long hair. No, all right. Brian says, my pandemic look is best described as hobo chic. Hey, Chris. Tony says, my lockdown look is homeless wizard. That actually fits you more than I think anything I've ever known, Tony. That's amazing. Rocky says, I'm keeping it clean. Way too much work. Plus, there may be a local peanut gallery here that prefers the beard. So there's that. Plus, I do too. It's a lot less maintenance. Although, God, look how gray that is. That's so bad. Ugh. Anyway. Paul, my look is Portland native. Scruffy. Yes, right? Yeah, Vincent, the HeavyCon 5 shirts will be being shipped out. The plan was to give them to you guys at 6 because of everything that happened with those. But yeah, going to be shipping those. So, yep. Hata, hi from Chile. Nice. Hello. That's awesome. Brian says, I had to straight up deny a request for a video conference this AM due to not being video ready. Aaron asks, any thoughts on the Cajun Trilogy partnership between Spielworks and Stronghold? Looking forward to it. Yeah, looking forward to it. So there you go. So we'll definitely be doing playthroughs for them. As best my knowledge, we will be doing that. All right. Andrew, when will the Golden Elephant nominees be announced? They're going to be, everything has slid a little bit due to real life. So they're going to be announced in May, and the winner will be announced in June because no HeavyCon this year. So everything is slid about a month. So look for that next month. Oh, and Jess asks, how did you first learn of a London fog then? It was upon my landing in Boston for PAX East a few years back. Jess immediately, she picked me up. Well, I had to wait a little bit, but she showed up and immediately took me to a place and I had my first London fog. And it was amazing and life-changing. Loved it ever since. So a big thank you to Jess. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Jonathan says, you seemed wiped about halfway through yesterday. Thanks for the stream, though. No, I wasn't wiped out during the stream yesterday. I was disheartened a little bit in how I was frustrated, I think, and it just kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit because it's just fiddly and clunky. That's all, Jonathan. And Chris says, I've been too swamped this week to watch yesterday's stream, but yeah, bots can be very draining to run on top of a solo stream. Yes. Tony says, this Ask the Elephant is interrupting my watch of the 4-player BIOS Origin stream. Well, you can always, the good news is that will live in perpetuity. I mean, this will too, but live is always better. So I'm glad you're hanging out, Tony. Exactly, Jess. She says, hey, Dragon, post all the wonderful stuff everywhere you can. If we let only the negativity shine, then there is no light. Exactly. Vince says, I started letting my girlfriend trim my beard. I was tired of getting trips to Hong Kong for $80 haircuts and beard trims. It took a tremendous amount of trust, but she's only ever messed up once. Jess has offered. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Thomas says, love the stream. Will you consider doing a behind-the-scenes video, maybe just for us patrons, showing your rig and setup for the stream? I don't know. Now that so many people have tried to imitate what it is I do here, I don't know if I want to do that. We'll see. Maybe. We'll leave it at that. Okay? Plans for Hannibal and Hamilcar? Poke asks. Yes. I don't, you know what? Now that you mention it, let me go look a moment. And yes, that my little keyboard I keep down here by the leg of the table. Yeah, the problem is not soloable. And I guess, could that be, no, because the cards. So that'll have to wait until I'm able to have guests over. But yes. Oh, my nose keeps running. Yeah, she's only ever messed up once. Once. All right, Schmidtkins, I got it. Nice. Uwe. Is it Uwe or Uwe? From Denmark. Hello. Yearning to finally meet up with a gaming group again? I trust me, I hear you. Zoom meetings with your groups, guys, and your friends. Make sure you guys do that just to keep in touch with folks. I need to do that more. So hopefully within the next 4 weeks, good luck. Solo gaming getting a wee bit lonely thanks to my kids playing with old Papa. Jonathan says, yay for helpful medication. They can definitely help stabilize things while one heals when you find the right one. Yep. What's my connection to Germany? I just have a lot of friends over there from the board gaming world, and I go every year for Spiel. Well, hopefully in 2020 I continue that. Yeah. That's looking seriously in doubt, though. Brian says, yeah, as I suspected, the pandemic has been a great environment to expose more people hungry for solid game content to the channel. I agree. It's been a huge surprise to me, honestly, and the Patron numbers speak for themselves. I'm shocked by it. I'm not going to lie, because I definitely took a hit. Everybody, let's be clear, everybody took a hit when this all started out. But that has been a very, very pleasant surprise. I've been completely, totally shocked that that number has gone up at the rate at which it has. I've been very humbled by it, so I definitely appreciate the support. Jonathan says, oh, and congrats to the Golden Geek podcast nomination. Well deserved. I appreciate it. Speaking of which, James should have some more stuff uploaded this week. Okay, so there's that. Paul says, the Final Fantasy VII Remake is really good. Edward really need to buy a PS4 and play it. So I'm not allowed to say this, but there may be one on the way. Just saying. Final Fantasy VII will be later. But yeah, I honestly, I used some of my poker money to get that. So that's what I did. That was my one expenditure for me. So there's that. Because I needed to play The Witcher 3. One interesting thing about all those lists that I saw, across the board, without any fail, the number one game of the open world game on the PS4, The Witcher 3. So apparently Clay wasn't lying. So I can't wait till Monday. Needless to say, Monday is going to be the weekly look ahead and nothing else. Just saying. Okay. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII, that is still one of my all-time favorite video games, so I definitely will be getting that eventually. However, they redid the combat system to where it's not turn-based anymore. I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see. Because Final Fantasy Tactics, also one of my favorite video games of all time. Brian says, just bought Fallout 4 just for the pandemic. I missed that one due to grad school. Nice. Enjoy that romp. That should be fun. Eric says, with HeavyCon canceled, are there thoughts to do a virtual con that weekend? You're not the first person to ask about that, but I don't exactly know how that would look or what that would be. There's no plans for it per se, but if it's something that Vince wants to help organize, we could do that. I'm going to have the PS4, not the Xbox One, Paul, so I can't do that. Scott, phasing player, says, is mentally taxing doing producing stuff, especially flying solo. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that ideally doesn't show, but you always worry the seams are visible and unappealing. That's true, especially when you do it live. You get one take. There's no editing. On the positive end, there's no editing. However, the amount of work that goes on the front end of doing a live show is tremendous. And then having to produce it live on the fly it's a tremendous amount of work, but I love it. I so love it. Yes, Horizon Zero Dawn. Well, again, I've been watching so many videos lately that yes, that has been ingrained in my brain, Paul. I finally got it right. Oh, having Uli or the Splatter guys on a cocktail hour would be awesome. The problem with that is I try and do it in the evening so that you guys can have a cocktail with me. But I could do some day drinking one day. That way it's the evening over in Germany or whatever. So I think having Uli, that'd be fun. So we could do that, yeah. Do a little day drinking. Okay. Tony says, our video game taste is almost identical, Edward. Haven't played since Fallout 4, but recently discovered the Outer Worlds. that's on my list. That's one of the games during lockdown, and it certainly scratches that itch. Yeah. So there are 7 games en route. Well, you know what? I know you guys are going to ask now, so some of you guys really don't care because board games, not video games. I understand that. But I said there's 7. None of them were more than like $18. So I went super thrifty. I didn't buy like RDR2. I didn't get Final Fantasy VII. So The Last of Us Remastered. I got the Quantic Dream Collection. For those that don't know what that is, it is Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, and Detroit Become Human, kind of a walking simulator type game, whatever. Persona 5, Bloodborne, which I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to like Bloodborne. I've done more homework on it, and it's like Dark Souls, kind of. I don't want to be stressed out like that playing that, so I don't know. Horizon Zero Dawn and The Witcher 3. So there you go. Oh, wait. So how many was that? That was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there were 8. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. Oh, hopefully we don't start a sneezing fit. That usually happens with these allergies. Oh. Have I played the solo variant of Food Chain Magnate? If it's decent, how about a monthly Food Chain Magnate play with all the new ketchup variants one by one? No, I haven't, Chip, and no. Thank you, but no. I'm just going to nip that one. No. I might do it once solo, but a monthly, no. I don't have the expansion. I did the playthrough of it when Jeroen was here, but I actually don't own the expansion. So, beer for breakfast from their perspective was Splatter. Nice. We could, okay. Cole, Uli, Splatter. Okay. Oh, Wimbley says, I bought Witcher 3 online last week for the PS4, still haven't started playing it. I'll tell you what, wait till Monday and we can compare. How's that? Aaron says, I really enjoyed the Crokinole interview with Jeremy Tracy. Awesome, thanks for that. Thank you. I'm glad. I mean, a lot of people, they may or may not know about Crokinole, but to be able to get the insight from a world-class player, number one, and number two, to hear about how the history of making, how he got into the business and the industry side of it, I thought was fascinating. I thought that'd be interesting. I found it interesting, so I imagine other people would too. So awesome, good to hear. Oh, okay, Liz Davidson. I'm making a list here. All right, thanks for that, Vince. She's got a PhD in history, ancient Rome, I think, and enjoys historical games. She did a good top 10 historical games on the Dice Tower and made it seem like her tastes are right up Heavy Cardboard's alley. Liz Davidson, Beyond Solitaire. I am going to go check her out now. Awesome, thanks. Check out her, yeah. You know what I mean. I will go investigate. Eric says, I know I certainly use Heavy Cardboard as my dowsing rod for what games to look into. So there you go. Hi, Trisha. Hi. Hey, Martin. Got a call coming up soon. Good. You probably have already come and gone, but thank you for hanging out, Martin. Good seeing you. That man has an impressive pandemic beard. That was, I am jealous. That looks good. Okay, seems Liz Davidson conversation where I'm going to have to introduce myself. All right, awesome. Good deal. Take care, Luke. Get some rest. Hopefully the youngin is getting some rest as well. Hey, Gooserino. Ah, there we go. I lost my spot. Corey asks, Edward, Corey, if you lost all your games in a fire, how many of them do you think you would seek out again? Which 3 would you go after first, assuming everything's available? Assuming everything is available, meaning I can go back and grab 3 no matter what they are. Age of Steam collection. That goes without saying. That's number 1. What else would I go for? And assuming everything is available, does that mean everything is available, like I would be able to recoup everything that I want? So like I'm not going to get like the super rare stuff that I can't, that is irreplaceable type stuff? What is it done in that regard? So I'll try and answer it 2 different ways. One, and I practiced this one, but I would definitely try, assuming that it would be really hard to get, my Bozja Igroshka. I'm butchering that, but it's basically the 4-player version of God's Playground. It's super rare, relatively rare, so that. All right, Martin, I see that on chat, and Jonathan, take care, guys. All right. All right. So I would save that. My Age of Steam collection. That's actually 5 boxes and some envelopes, but that's okay. What else? And probably, for sentimental reasons, the copy of Three Kingdoms Redux that was sent from Starting Player. It was the first ever review copy of a game that was ever sent to Heavy Cardboard. I think I would save that. Yeah, that would definitely be, so Age of Steam, and that, no matter what, even if it was replaceable, those 2. And if everything were replaceable, what is the 3rd thing that I would save? If everything's replaceable, does it really matter? I think it'd just be those 2. If everything's replaceable, I'd just go with that. I don't own Glory to Rome. That's Jess's copy. So, yeah, there you go. How many of them would I seek out again? A lot. Not going to lie. Just for the show, honestly. Because either things that I haven't streamed or reviewed or whatever that I would want to. There's a lot that I would not, but there are a lot of them that I would definitely seek out again. Yes. It's all insured. The CRV is an awesome car. It's 11 years old, going strong. So, yeah. What does one have to do with the other, Gooserino? I don't understand that question. As an Oregonian, what, huh? I don't get that. Vincent, wait to walk till the weather gets better. It sounds like a quitter. It sounds like quitter talk, Marie. Yeah, hey, just because I can doesn't mean I don't. I want to walk in the rain. I enjoy rain from the inside. I enjoy hearing it and being able to enjoy it from in here. No, I'm good. I'm okay. Oh, Scott. My wife's from Eugene, Oregon. Been a handful of times. Nice place. It's beautiful down there. Plus, go Ducks. So. And Martin, who lives like 7 minutes away down south of me, says, Wakefield's a lovely town. I've enjoyed walking or cycling around the lake a few times. There's also some very nice reservation land around here for a walk in the woods. That is true. I do not like any Boston teams. I have no ill will towards any of the Boston teams, like the Red Sox, the Patriots, which, wow, this is going to be an interesting football season now that Tom's gone, huh? That's going to be really interesting. I was told to shut up. about that. So sorry. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things go. Talk radio's been, whenever I'm driving around and I listen to some of the sports radio, especially when Brady signed with Tampa, that was interesting to hear. There are people that are like, oh, good for Tom. And there are people like, oh, he's good for nothing. I'm like, dude brought you 6 rings. Stop. Not by himself, the peanut gallery is screaming. So you're right, but still, he better get a standing O when he comes back in 2021. Tampa is coming up here. Should be an interesting trip to watch. Anyway, I just hate the Bruins. The end. Brad Marchand, I don't wish injury on any person. Legitimately, I'm an adult. Let's not get carried away out of this. But I detest Brad Marchand. I would love him if he were a Canuck, if I didn't already hate him at the level of hate that I have for him. Yeah, but no. Hate the Bruins. Nathan says, I own On Mars but have never broken it out. Would the solo teach help to learn the multiplayer game too, or are they really different? Honestly, I played the multiplayer game. The bot is the solo stuff. That's where I struggled was with the bot. I did a full teach, a proper teach of it on the multiplayer stream. I would suggest watching that, honestly, as opposed to the solo one. If you're interested in learning the solo, if you're willing to struggle through it a bit with me, then it might be valuable to you. So there's that. All right, Nathan? Hey, Portos. Jonathan says, I vote you just make pinned post on Slack for your recipes. I appreciate it. Rocky says, a new Cooking with Heavy Cardboard segment. I'll be honest, with Chef John from Food Wishes and Binging with Babish, you don't need me. Those guys are amazing. Ashbjorn's Danish. He's from Denmark. But yes, Skanderhoovian. There you go. All right. Sorry, Ashbjorn, but yes. Yeah, like what Brian says, watch the multiplayer one. I think that's the better of the two, by far. Gusarino says, in much the same way that Rado is responsible for many board game content creators saying too terribly much, will you take responsibility for me peppering game teaches with, so there's that. Absolutely, I'll own that one. I definitely have a handful of Edward-isms out there, and I'm sure there could be a lot of drinking games. We don't need to list them all and make me self-conscious. Please do not. I know there are some out there. Probably more than I am aware of, but yes, I'm aware of it. Scott says, if you come to Cincinnati to game with Clay, I'm going to. That's a foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of when. So let's be clear. Scott says, I've got an outstanding taco place to take you. Mazunte? Awesome. Awesome. Hey, James. He says, my lockdown look is much the same as my normal look. Yeah, but you're kind of like Ashbjorn, right? You got the big beard and the longer hair anyway, so there's that, James. Okay, see, now that's different. Adam, for a safety reason, 100%, says it's ironic, but my pandemic look now is shaving everything above my neck every day, so I go into hospital so my PPE seals safely on my face. 100%. So that's the real reason that you can't have a beard in the military. in the U.S. military. And in the Marine Corps, why you almost never see in the Marine Corps a mustache, because it's got to be so trimmed that it kind of looks goofy, honestly, but so your gas mask gets a good seal around your face, much like for any of the nurses and doctors and any other Medicare or medical professionals out there that have to wear PPE. Absolutely, they have to be clean shaven so it fits on their face. So that makes sense. So be safe, Adam. All right. Thank you for everything that you're doing, by the way. Thank you for that. Nothing like self-care at the edge of a straight razor. Yes. Vince says, and then COVID happened is the new everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. I don't know the reference, Vince. I don't know that one. Oh, I'm sorry, Podos. I apologize. Hit me up. I will keep an eye out for it. All right? And in the end, it's only hair, it'll grow back. It's starting to thin a little, so maybe it won't, but yeah, it's just hair. Seriously. Hey, Alexander. Do I ever play co-op games? I played Freedom the Underground Railroad the other day. It might have been a couple weeks ago, but they're all blurring together. So yeah. Do I play co-ops as co-ops? I try not to. I've never played Pandemic. Any of them. The one exception to that rule really are the kind of whodunits, whether it is the Exit series or anything like that, like puzzle games or like Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. I'll play those as co-ops, but I really don't enjoy co-ops, Alexander. John says, when are you going to have content for Tekkenu? Before it releases. That's all I can say. Tomas says, I want to know your personal opinion. PAX Renaissance as a solo game or two-player, would you recommend it? Two-player, 100% yes. Actually, Ash and I did a live stream of the two-player of PAX Ren. Highly recommend that. The solo, I haven't played the solo, so I can't speak to that. But if it's anywhere as good as the two-player, then yes. PAX Ren's fantastic. Big fan. Paul says, hair grows back, it's fine. And then John's like, that's not the case for everyone. Hey, Dan says, finally off a call, can catch some of it. Welcome. All right. Rocky says, Edward, if Irene can cut my bangs well enough, Jess can certainly manage. I've donated my hair twice recently, looking to keep it trim. I donated my hair when I had it super long. I donated my hair when I got it all cut off as well. So awesome for that. Hey, Nick, designer of Noggin the Nog, says Spiel is looking seriously canceled. Game over. I know, but I'm holding out hope because, boy, that's going to be difficult. That's going to make for a really interesting 2021 for me then. Jonathan, doubling back to my Zoom meeting content, says, I definitely second the Zoom meeting thing. We're keeping our D&D games going via Zoom and Discord as well as a Pandemic Legacy playthrough. Awesome. Good stuff. Tim says, yeah, I was concerned about my patron or your patron numbers, meaning that. And he says, I had expected you to take a pretty big hit as people had to tighten spending. I did too, and I did at first. In all honesty, I really did. And then it's rebounded. People, here's the thing, and it's tough for everybody, right? I know there are a lot of people that are having to deal with furloughs or layoffs or anything like that. And first and foremost, people, take care of you and yours. That is the most important thing. You have to take care of yourself, take care of your family, way before you do anything else. However, the other thing that I will say is, for those of us content creators that do this full time, keep that in mind also, that we're struggling as well. So it's been, I'm not a religious dude. I'm not I'm pretty agnostic when it comes to that. But that's really been a godsend. That has been remarkable, I think is a good way to put it. And I am very, very grateful for the support. So yeah, it did take a hit, but it rebounded well. And I am very, very grateful for it. Getting closer and closer to that tattoo at 1,000. Orange Pico's done. You know what that means. Sencha time. Ha ha. All right. Paul says The Witcher is really good. Jace then says The Witcher 3 is so good. I can't wait. Eagerly awaiting that. So yeah, I have obviously these 2 games left to do before. So I have The Hunters with that. There we go. The Hunters on Saturday. And that has the custom map. Cannot wait to bust out the game with that on Saturday. And then Ground Floor solo playthrough. Really, really looking forward to that. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Stephanie says, greetings from Hamburg. Hi. Sadly, Spiel's probably going to be canceled. They canceled Oktoberfest. Yeah, I mean, if they canceled Oktoberfest, Spiel is probably not going to happen. Well, hey, on the positive end, that's more content this year, at least for you guys. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to touch base with a lot of the publishers to be able to get games. Oh, that is so good. It's like toasted rice, a little bit of nutty, a little bit of popcorn almost. Earthy tones. Just a clean finish. Man, grassy. That is amazing tea. That is delicious. That is so good. It's sencha and some other stuff from that Portland. And Paul, do you know what kind that is? Paul's the one that sent me a little gift box of tea from the company, and I forget the name of the company. It's downstairs, but oh, that is some good tea. Rocky says, regards to the support, at least personally, I've taken somewhat of I save from not traveling and have put it towards certain creators, performing arts and other charities, a little bit, help a little bit around as he can. I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful for that. So thank you, Rocky. I saw the email, Porto, so I'll get to it. And Chris says, as a longtime viewer, it was honestly the pandemic that finally made me become a patron. Never had a ton of spare cash, but hated the thought of Heavy Cardboard taking a hit during all this. I appreciate it, Chris. I very much do. Thank you. And Martin says, also very glad to see the patron numbers going up. I must remember that correlation is not causation with me not being on the YouTube channel recently. Thanks, Martin. Have I played Brussels 1897, the card game? I have. I'm trying to decide if I should get it or just go for Brussels 1893, the board game. So when we played it, we played it 4-player, 3 or 4-player. One of the players had never played Brussels 1893. The rest of us had. And we all felt that Brussels 1897 gave a feel of Brussels 1893, but we all would have preferred to play Brussels 1893 than the card game. However, it plays in a shorter play time. Personally, almost without fail, I can't think of a single version of the card game or the dice game of whatever it is that I would rather play more than the base game, the original game that it came from. So I can't think of a single instance where that's the case. And I think that applies here too. I prefer Brussels 1893, but that's not to disparage 1897, the card game version of it. I thought it felt like it gave a similar feel, but I just would rather play Brussels 1893. So, will we stream 97 at some point? Yes, we will. Rocky says, Martin, not going to lie, the numbers have gone up since you stopped asking for thumbs. What's a little day drink into a Marine? Hey, I don't drink a lot, but you know, I will do it for the stream. Oh, Beyond Two Souls is what inspired Stranger Things. I did not know that, Jace. All right. BioShock games, I have. I've tried getting into them, and I just, man, I don't know. I just can't seem to. I couldn't seem to really get into the BioShock games, or Mass Effect for that matter. Like, I've tried, but I just couldn't for whatever reason. Oh, Martin's going to be on stream. In fact, Martin asked on our local Slack if we're going to do any more kind of like Skype slash, distance streaming like we did. We are going to be doing some of that in the coming weeks. So rest assured, that's coming. Martin will be back. Brianna says Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human are very good games. So good. I'm excited to see that, or excited to hear that and to check them out. That's awesome, Brian. My son walked up to me the other day during an 11 a.m. video call and asked, Daddy, do you need a beer? The rest of the office lost their minds laughing. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Option to play Anachrony solo. I've never played Anachrony. I'll be honest. If and when, and I'm sure I will at some point, play Anachrony, and I will do a solo playthrough, but I think after having sat down for the conversation with Heavy Cardboard with David Turtsey a couple days ago, I think what I will do is I will bust out Anachrony with the new solo bot that he has developed or is developing that they're going to do for the Kickstarter. I think I will do a stream of that. I think that would be more beneficial. So wait for that one, okay? Food Chain Magnate solo, I'm adding these down here. Okay. Oh, I've done the Great Zimbabwe, but it's been a long time, Jace. And somebody just asked if the local peanut gallery would also be interested in doing a two-player Great Zimbabwe. Apparently the local peanut gallery said yes, so that may happen soon. Oh, that's a fair point. Vince says, as I'm listening to Edward list 3 games that he'd get back, I'll just note that he made a similar list on the 5 games for Doomsday podcast with Ben Maddox. There you go. Go listen to that. And that gives 5 games. There you go. Good call. I still have no idea what you're talking about, Gusarino. I'm sorry. I have no idea. Rocky says the commentary from the back room is both endearing and familiar. All All right, Scott asks, kind of a broad question, but what do you think your most controversial, unconventional opinion is on board games? Either about a specific game, the industry in a whole, a genre, or whatever. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to say the most controversial. There are a number of content creators out there that are disingenuous. There's that. Let's see, other things. I don't like a lot of Stefan Feld's classics, like Notre Dame. I don't like Glenn Moore. There are plenty of people out there that really enjoy those games. I don't. Let's see, what else? Controversial. Not every game needs to play at every player count. Quit trying to shoehorn player counts into games that don't necessarily make them, that would play well with them. Stop doing that. That would be one. What else? Yeah, I think that's good. I don't like co-ops, but there's nothing wrong with them. I just don't like them. That's a personal opinion there. Because I play for a competition of decision making. And there isn't that in a co-op. So, yeah, not my thing, really. Yeah, I guess that's it. Not really a lot of other controversial things. Yeah. Oh, and this is a common sense thing, I feel like, and this goes out to publishers in general, that I believe that every single game out there should be blind play tested, in the sense that publishers should give their game to somebody that is completely unfamiliar with the game and give them the rule book and say, here, go learn the game, and let them tell them where they have problems with the rule book. And I feel like rule books should be professionally edited. That's my opinion. Even good rule books can use playthroughs, so I'm not worried about teaching and playthroughs. So I'm not worried about job security in that regard. But I think that would be that would just be a benefit to everybody. Lower the barrier to entry. There's always going to be a need for what it is I do, so I'm not worried about that. And yes, Marshawn's a goon, Chris. Yes. Bring it, Vincent. Oh, nice. Borgasol says, I played 3-player on Mars on Tabletopia and he had his solo stream on. Nice. And Paul, this is that green tea, the Sencha. This is the stuff. This is it. From Portland Smith Tea Company or something like that. Yeah, this is amazing. And Paul says, if you ever come back to Portland, I will eventually, I'm sure. Need to try Porque No, great street tacos. I'm in, always, always. I could have just eaten street tacos 10 times in a row, and I'm up for street tacos. Never tire of them. Brian says, Edward, I'm a communication guy through and through. Everyone has verbal tics, even the best speakers in the world. Yes. Yep, tacos. Why not? That's exactly what that is. Yes. I agree. Yes. I'm in, Paul. All right, Tony, take care. So he's going to be teaching Helen BIOS Origins. Awesome. Enjoy. Have fun, guys. Jason says it's nice to see the number up here stay in the 800s. I agree. I like seeing it go up more than I like seeing it go down, for sure. Aaron, any news on any new Splatter release this year or reprints? No news. It's not that I'm keeping it from you, just no news. Tacos El Gordo in Vegas, Brianna says. Nice. Hi, Peter. Paul says, I live in Vegas. El Gordo is legit, as is Taco y Taco. I love that we're getting taco recommendations from around the world. This is fantastic. Or I guess around the country, but you get the idea. Peter says, today is kind of a holiday eve here in Sweden, and tomorrow is one of the few non-religious holidays. Is it a holiday in the U.S. too? I don't think so. May Day. Oh, it's May Day. Is that really a holiday? Yes, you give May Day baskets to your neighbors. Apparently you give May Day baskets to your neighbors? But we can't because quarantine. Yeah, see, Eric, May Day really isn't a thing in the U.S. See? Yeah. John says, yeah, my main language is Spanish. If I'm driving, I saw that name, I would stop. Tacos, why not? Yeah, why not? Let's have some tacos. That's genius. That's great. It's Smith Tea in Portland. Okay, but do you know what kind this is? It's Sencha, but there's a name for the tea, like the blend that they have. This is the best tea I've ever had in my life. It is amazing. Oh, it's so good. Hi, Stacy. Welcome. All right, Brian says, unpopular opinion. I prefer San Juan to Puerto Rico. All right, fair enough. All right, and Family McManus says, I thought the dice game version of Discoveries of Lewis and Clark was better than the full Lewis and Clark game. Okay. This, Brianna, this tea. And if Paul can get the name, or I will post it on Twitter. And in Slack, because, oh my, that's good tea. Jonathan says, hi, Edward, thanks for the solo plays. Hi, Jonathan, thanks for the support. John says, the conversation with David was awesome, very entertaining. I knew all I would have to do is wind him up and let him go, so that was really good. And yeah, I think that was really good, because I was able to challenge David on a couple of things, and he was receptive to that, and I knew he would be, and I thought that made for really interesting discussion, and to kind of pick his brain a little bit deeper than maybe he does in other interviews. I think it was really, really good, and it was exciting for me, because these are the things that I want to know. This is the interesting stuff to me, so. Vincent says, the BioShock games had a great story. Also means you don't know the reference. Would you kindly... Oh, gotcha. All right. Oh, no, it's the...
I know, but Brianna was looking for more.
So. Oh, okay. So here, I have a little elf that has brought a bunch of teas that... huh? Okay. So the ones that Paul sent is from Stephen Smith's Tea Maker in Portland. Peppermint, this is awesome for end of the evening. This is really nice. I've enjoyed it. It's super strong mint. It's just mint. So keep that in mind. Then there is the Portland Breakfast, which is good. I've enjoyed it. I don't know that it's any much better than your typical English breakfast.
I like it better.
Jess likes it better, apparently. However, the piece de resistance is this. It's Rose City Gen Matcha, or Matcha?
Matcha.
No, it's not. It has an I in there. So Gen Matcha. Rose City Gen Matcha. Best tea I've ever had. So this is Japanese sencha, Gen Mei, Maofang green tea from China, and rose petals. Best tea I've ever had in my life. Cannot recommend this enough. But like I said, it tastes like roasted tea or roasted rice, a little bit of popcorn in there, some earthy grass. No, oh, it's so good. Anyway.
I like the buckwheat tea.
I don't like buckwheat though, so The Shrey orders a bunch of tea from Upton Tea Imports, and he brings some for game days. So we have, what do we have here? We have Orange Spice Imperial. That's basically like an orange pico. We have Formosa Amber Oolong Select. This is delicious. This is really good. We have a Black Benefuki, which is really nice. I know the guys really enjoy this as well. And, oh boy. Whew. I don't know how to pronounce this one. I'm going to butcher it. It's New Vithanankande FBOPF X Special. New Vithanankande. I can't remember how this one tastes, I'll be honest. So there we go. Thank you, local peanut gallery. There we go. So I will give BioShock another try at some point. I have no doubt. Okay. Jonathan says, what are your thoughts about board games that come deluxe as standard and are very expensive, i.e. Tapestry? I have no opinion on anything Stonemaier in that regard. I will talk about the Eagle Griffin since that is sitting here on my table. The production quality is, wow. It is impressive as all get out. And I've always been of the mind that mechanisms trump everything, okay? If a game doesn't have good mechanisms, I don't care if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. So the game's got to be good, i.e. the mechanism. Everything else, the artwork, the theme, the setting, and the production quality are all secondary to the mechanisms of the game. However, the artwork, the graphic design, the presentation, the production quality, all can enhance the theme, the setting. All of those things can enhance the enjoyment of a game. So, what is my opinion about board games that come deluxe but are very expensive? I'm okay with it. Now, I also have the benefit that I do not have to spend the money to be able to buy these games. I understand that. But I do believe that if a game is worth its salt, then it's something that you're going to play multiple times. So having a gorgeous production like we have here with On Mars, or hell, if the Hunters had a map like this, you're telling me that's not going to be appealing to you, even if it raises the cost of a game because of it? I think that matters. It doesn't matter as much as the mechanisms and the gameplay itself, but it matters. How many times have we talked about Ian O'Toole's art and, oh my God, it's so amazing. It looks amazing. Look at this. It looks fantastic. Oh, it's beautiful. The Gallerist, whatever it is. Nemo's War, right? You're telling me that that doesn't enhance your enjoyment of the game? Now, some people might be asking, why don't publishers always offer a deluxe version and then the stripped down version for a cheaper price? And knowing what I know now about production and publication of games and everything else, it's not always feasible because of expense. You're essentially producing two different games. And especially if it's not a Kickstarter, then you don't know what demand's going to be for the deluxe version versus the standard and vice versa. So do I blame or find fault with companies like Eagle Griffin that with all of Vital's games and stuff like that, that they do nothing but deluxe versions? I do not, because of that reason. I understand why. So what is my opinion? Hey, if whatever a publisher deems they need to do or they should do, then they should do. Whether it's a stripped down version or a deluxe version, or if it's some of each. Do I prefer the deluxe versions? I mean, who doesn't like chunky bits of wood, gorgeous artwork? I mean, double layer boards. You're telling me you don't like this stuff? Of course. Now, does that mean that you're buying less games potentially because they are prohibitively expensive compared to the cost of a stripped down version? Yes. But I'll be honest, at that point, what I do, I think it drives what I do even more so that you can make more informed decisions by checking out the playthroughs and being able to make a decision of, yeah, I would like it, but nah, or oh my, yes, we would play the hell out of that game. That is a game that I need to have because I think we would really find enjoyment in that repeatedly, and that's worth the investment. Then I think that also piggybacks on what it is that I do for a living. So that's beneficial for me and for you. So what is my opinion on that? More power to them. It raises the barrier to entry. I understand that. But am I okay with it? From that standpoint, I am. Okay? So there you go. That's my opinion. Might be unpopular, but that's the honest to God truth of it. All right, and Mentat, to double back to the video game talk in the top 6s and top 10s. 51 minutes later, he said he's painting cabinets with the wife. Not fun. Is it because it's with the wife or the painting of the cabinets? Don't answer that. Want to say yes, what you do is very valuable and helps us find our next favorite game. Some more top 6s would be amazing. Consider it done. Like I said, after watching those from the video game side and that epiphany last night, I absolutely will be doing more of those because of that. Okay? Aaron, is there Cube Rail games that would play decently 2 players? I'm sure there is, but nothing comes to mind off the top of my head. I don't know. I'm sorry. And Brian says, I agree on rulebooks, though the amount of tech writing and editing I do, I'm biased. So yeah, I think professional editing is important when it comes to rulebooks. Oh, Ashbjorn, duh, says Mini Express is good with 2. Actually, oh good, it's only 1:45. When I'm done with this, I have to run to the post office to pick up Mini Express. That is here, because we're going to be doing a playthrough of it. Good reminder. That also is good with 2. Yeah, I have heard that, Ashbjorn. I have not played it, but I've heard that. And Peter says, rulebook should be professionally edited. My wife, a technical writer, working with SW documentation, is nodding. Twilight Struggle rulebook is a mess. Pipeline rulebook is so good, I want to frame it. And Chris says, as someone with a lot of editorial experience, I'd happily edit game rulebooks for pay. A lot of them could use it. Put your name out there. Stacy says, thanks, Edward, for all the great solo streams. You are welcome, Stacy. What is my favorite Stefan Feld? Castles of Burgundy, I think, or Die Bergen von Bergen. Or the Speicherstadt. No, Castles of Burgundy, yeah. Oh, by the way, if you want to treat yourself to something other than, say, maybe some good video games, some good playthroughs, some amazing tea, the other, like clothing-wise, I will highly recommend are Bombas socks. Oh my God, they're so comfortable. So warm, toasty. Oh, highly recommended. All right, anyway, I'm wearing some today. Really enjoyable. Let's see. Oh boy, I lost my spot. Oh, I'm that far behind still. Peter says, I know Age of Steam's your favorite game. Do you have a favorite map at 3, 4, and 5 players? All right, let's see. 3 players, it's probably the Moon or Montreal Metro. 4 players. Oh God, I can't think of the name. The Heaven and Hell one from Ted Alspach. Oh my God, how can I not think of the name of that? Somebody will be able to remind me what it is. We've streamed that, haven't we? Oh God, tell me we streamed that map, right? I think we have. And 5 player, I'm gonna be a total homer on this one, but honestly, at 5 players, the heavy cardboard map is amazing. It's really good. Now, are there other amazing maps? Of course there are. But those are all really good at those player counts. Next Monday is a holiday we can all get behind. It's Star Wars Day. That's right. 2 things of note on that, and I know this, Excavation Earth Kickstarter ends because I have the person in charge of marketing here. And it's also the day I get The Witcher 3. Soul Train, thank you. That's the name of the game. God, or the map. I could not think of it. Oh, that's Vital. I'm okay with that. Justin says, just watch both solo streams of On Mars, mine and Paul Grogan's Gaming Rules. Vital appeared in later and dissed my slower play, tongue in cheek. I'm okay with that. Hey, Chad. If you could become a different nationality in another life, what would you be? Different nationality. So let's think about this. Mexican for the food, Australian for the slower pace of life. Canadian for how kind they are, usually. There is one big exception to that. I don't know. We'll go Mexican because learning to, like, having a Mexican grandmother that could teach me to cook Mexican food? Done. I'm in. Oh my God, yes. I don't know how that wasn't the first thought. Porto says Gem Matcha is the best. All right, cool. Yeah, no, I don't like them. I love this tea. This is legitimately the best tea I've ever had in my life. So. That's right, Portos, you did mention this. Oh, that is so good. See, Brian says Bruges from Steffenfeld is good too. I don't like it. Brianna says, thanks, Jess, for grabbing the tea. You're the best. Peter asks, where did Davis get his name? Is there a story? There is. So, Amanda's grandfather worked for the Burlington Northern Railroad Company. And because trains are such a big part of the games that we enjoy, naming him Davis after her grandfather kind of made sense. So there you go. That's that's the history of it. SA says, love your playthrough videos, Edward. Thank you, SA. I'm amazed at how well you play when you have to keep in mind so many broadcast aspects. Me too. I'm not going to lie. There are times. So, okay. Full disclosure. At the end of almost every live stream, okay, of a playthrough, I'm upset at something that happened on it, or that I did wrong, or that I made a mistake, or I forgot this, or I hesitated there, or whatever. I am critiquing to the gills every single live stream, almost every time. However, there are certain live streams that after I'm done, I'm like, oh, that was good. Those are rare. Those are extraordinarily rare. But I will say that I had one the other day, which is BIOS Origins. The solo stream I did of that, I felt like I killed it on that one. I felt really proud of that live stream, and I felt really good. I think I did a really good job of presenting that game really well. And I felt really good after that because, like I said, now that I have the PTZ camera, it essentially is 12 cameras because I have to get them all pre-programmed and then I have to go to it before I switch to it for what it is that I have to show. And I'm trying to play the game adequately and run the stream and interact with chat and try and keep things moving. It is a ton of work. Some of it is second nature at this point, but some of it very much is not. And so it amazes me sometimes that I'm able to pull it off because there are some streams, like I wasn't super thrilled with yesterday's because the bot just took too much of my attention away. And I just didn't feel like it flowed really well. And so I wasn't super thrilled with yesterday's production, honestly. But it just all that means is that gives me a chance to improve upon it for the next time. So that's okay. And yeah, it's pretty cool that I'm able to do this. And sometimes it's cool to take a step back and be like, hey, that was pretty good job. It doesn't happen often, but on occasion it does. So I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it, SA. Thanks. Brian says, speaking of Felden art, I still remember the new art being released for Castles of Burgundy, and I thought it was a joke because it was equally as terrible. I would argue it was worse. I don't know who looked at that and said, yeah, this is a deluxe version of it. Bad idea. Art is very much subjective, but I don't know anybody that was like, oh yeah, this is the definitive Castles of Burgundy. Wimbley, what games are on your wish list that you don't think you will ever get because of their rarity? Horus, that is my #1 Grail game. I've only seen one copy ever for sale since I've been in a hobby in 2013. That went for over $400. I would love, I'm not, keep in mind, I'm not actively pursuing any of these because I'm not going to spend these kind of prices for it. But would I love to have the original Key games? Sure. Keydom and Keytown? Of course, yeah, but I'll never own those. What other ones are stupid rare? Black Elephant? Not stupid rare, but it's still more than I would be willing to pay. I would love to have a copy of that. Those are the ones that come off the top of my head. David says, what's your opinion on Railroad Evolution? Do you mean Railroad Revolution, David? Looks good, but wondering how it compares to other train-themed games. I don't know Railroad Evolution. Because it's going to take a while for you to get back to me. So, for me to actually get to it, I mean. Yeah, you're talking Railroad Revolution. I've never played it. It's from What's Your Game, right? Never played it. I heard the original had something that was broken. Oh, wait. Pause. This is the expansion for Railroad Revolution. Ha! I got it. I haven't played it. I heard it fixed the base game. I haven't played either of them. So I don't know. I would love to play it. I need to reach out to What's Your Game. So, yeah, I haven't played them. I don't know. Do I have any new information regarding the publishing of Dominant Species Marine? I don't. My guess is that's on hold, but that's a guess. I don't want to speak out of line. I don't know. I actually will be reaching out to GMT this week, so maybe I can ask that as well. So I'll see if I can get some info, okay? Hey, Adam. Joining quite late, going to watch on Chipmunk, not Chipmunk mode, or not Chipmunks mode. Adam, I hope you're feeling better, man. I hope the recovery's going well with COVID. All right. Yeah, I don't mind the original artwork in Castles of Burgundy, but if you're gonna tout the new artwork, make it good. I agree. And Chris says, I forgive wargame prices a bit more. And let's be clear, I assume that's in regards to smaller print runs. Smaller print runs mean higher prices for games in general, because just like whenever you go buy something at Sam's or Costco or whatever, you buy in bulk, it's cheaper, right? So same thing goes with the publishing games. If you can print more, it's going to be cheaper. However, he says, with Euros, I find overly bloated deluxe versions unnecessary. They are unnecessary, but I also enjoy them when applicable. Not like, I don't want a bunch of plastic in my games. Like, I'm not a big minis guy. For those that are, then more power to you. But that's where I would agree with. He says the hobby needs to be more accessible. I don't argue with that viewpoint. I don't think you're wrong on that. Perhaps it's just my cognitive dissonance on my part, though. And no, I think there's validity to that opinion. And I can get behind that. I'm not opposed to that. But I also really like really gorgeous productions of games. I like looking at pretty things on the table. But are they necessary? No. What popcorn pants am I going with today? No popcorn pants, just PJs. Just PJ kind of. They're not sweats. They're kind of PJs. Soul Train, get it reprinted. He's given me the opportunity, but I'm out of the publishing business. Nope, no thanks. But I will see if I will. Yes, I streamed it long ago. Apparently, all right, good. Maybe Eagle will get that one reprinted as well. Nico says, if my games would have gone by fire, it would help my decision to buy Mage Knight Ultimate Edition, send it to Edward for a playthrough. Easier to handle as the bot rules than on Mars. I'm going to be reaching out to his kids to get a copy of that because I really want to do a playthrough of that. I know Ricky Royal did for the original Mage Knight. I don't think it was for the Ultimate. I might be misspeaking, but Ricky does a great job as well. So check that out. But yeah, I definitely want to do one of the solo game of Mage Knight Ultimate. I really want to. I mean, it's kind of like Skyrim-y, kind of. So yeah, I'm in. No, Brian. Oh, got a couple of cons planned for November for Ashbjorn and Peter up in Scandinavia. Awesome. In Belgium as well. So hopefully that works out, guys. Cameron. Hey, Edward. Hi, Cameron. Love watching your playthroughs. They are very informative and double as a rules teach. Mission accomplished then. Question. What are your thoughts on Tabletop Simulator since many of the games aren't officially licensed, good or bad? As long as they're not breaking any rules or laws or any copyright type stuff, then okay, go for it. Personally, I don't like playing board games as video games. It's my personal opinion. I do not like doing it. I stopped by Paul's playthrough of On Mars today, and it was on Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator or one of those. I like the tactile feeling of it. I just want to play. If I play a board game, I want it to be a board game. I don't want it to be a video game. Am I going to play some of those and stream some of those? It sounds like I'm going to. Will I enjoy it as much? No. But honestly, if that's all you have to do, then absolutely do it. I highly recommend it. I know there are a bunch of people in our local game group that are playing a ton of online games. And you know what? If that's your only recourse to get gaming in other than solo games, absolutely do it. I'm not disparaging it. I'm just saying, for me, if I'm going to play video games, I'm going to play The Witcher 3 or I'm going to do something like that. I don't want to play board games as video games. So there you go. But as long as people that are making, I guess they're mods or the modules or whatever it is you call them for Tabletopia, Tabletop Simulator, as long as they're not breaking any kind of, doing anything wrong by putting them on there, then I'm okay with it. If they are, then they shouldn't do it. That's awesome. Peter says, nice story. Thanks, Edward. I don't know which story that was, but thank you. By the way, my daughter still fondly tells people of SN18 where you bought her cheesecake for her birthday. Well done. You have a young ambassador there. That's awesome. She was a sweetheart. It was great to meet her. So, no, that was very, very cool, Peter. I still remember that. Dom says, I think you've sold a lot of copies of BIOS Origins. Okay. Cool for Ion and Phil and all that. I think the game's excellent. I love the game, and I was really proud of the playthroughs, both of them that I've done for that game. And Dom says, I'm actually disappointed that more people haven't been talking about it. I think it's a really impressive game. I agree. I think it's one of the best from last year. Oh, the story about Davis, Peter says. Okay, fair enough. And Paul says, definitely go on the Smith Tea website. They have a bunch of other teas. I'm not going to lie. I'm totally going to hit them up for a sponsorship. I am not ashamed of that. I am absolutely going to try. Paul, yes. If you know of somebody I should email directly, let me know, Paul. I'm being serious, too. Chad says the On Mars bot's fiddly as hell. You did as well as can be expected without tens of hours of practicing the bot's decisions. Yeah, it's not my favorite bot. I love the game as a multiplayer. Not so, and it played the feel. I felt like I played On Mars, but it was just too much for the bot for On Mars, in my opinion. Hey, Krasimir. Hey, JT. Have I played Russian Railroads or German Railroads? I have Russian Railroads and the expansions. I think there's 1 or 2 expansions for Russian Railroads. I haven't played it in forever. That very much is definitely a point salad worker placement. It's been years since I played it. Did I enjoy it? I think I did. I think I enjoyed it. I would love to be able to do a stream of it at some point. JT, Mage Knight is the best solo game, and that's coming from a pretty hardcore war gamer. Not to the exclusion of other games, understand. I know, JT, you play a bunch of other games, but also pretty big on war games, and Mage Knight says is the best solo game. So I'm in, guys. I just need to get a copy. I need to learn it. I need to play it a couple times. Then I will stream it. Oh, good call, Ashbourne. James got the go-ahead to make redraws of Ted's map, so we might go down that. You know what, James? I'll tell you what. You do that, I'll stream it again with your map. I'd be cool with that. Skyrimmy is now one of my favorite verbs. Yeah, I think that applies, right? Scott says, every time I look at Mage Knight, I end up walking away thinking, cool, I should definitely get into Magic Realm. Hey, more power to you. Nope. I'll stick to Mage Knight, I think. The only way I will ever play/stream Magic Realm is if I have somebody who knows the game. Because that is no way a game I'm ever going to get into. I won't have the time to dedicate to it for the show. No chance that'll ever happen. Yeah, James does some amazing redraws of Age of Steam maps. He does. He does amazing artwork for the show. So thank you, James. Seventh Continent. That's a game also I really, really want to stream. Now, it does have some spoilers in there, but I still want to be able to stream Seventh Continent. I really do. And Vincent, this is a good point. The Tabletop Simulator has been really nice to do playtests. He's been doing playtests of Return to Dark Tower, which is coming along nicely. So yeah, playtests, it is an amazing tool for that. I just don't enjoy it. It's just me personally. If you do, please play it. Absolutely. Any of those. I do own German Railways. I'm a lucky duck. Yeah, I bought it when it came out. And yeah, I have it. I think it's unopened because I haven't played it yet. Jonathan, oh boy. How do you rank Vital's games, both as multiplayer and solo? So multiplayer, Vinos is going to be number one. That is still my favorite Vital game. Oh, after that, Lisboa and the Gallerist are going to be up there. I really enjoy Kanban. I really enjoy On Mars. Escape Plan less so. I've really enjoyed the Gallerist. I enjoy the Gallerist more and more every time I play it, honestly. That's a game that has increased the more I've played it. So I would put Vinos number one, and then Lisboa and the Gallerist up there, and then On Mars and Kanban right there as well. And then Escape Plan down at the bottom. I might be forgetting another, or is that it? As far as solo, the Gallerist number one. Now, I've only played two of them solo. I've only played the Gallerist and On Mars. So it'd be the Gallerist number one easily, and On Mars number two. A distant. There is space between those, for sure. Ah, Martin's back. Hi, Martin. Justin says, I prefer On Mars as a two-player solo. Elastic difficulty. Cooperative at times and aggressive blocking at others. I think I would like that more, too. I think I would have, in hindsight, Justin. So that's all right. All right. German Railways has a solo mode. Okay. Oh yeah, Small City is fantastic, Brianna. I am a big fan of Small City. I think Albin VR, honestly, I think that's Albin Viard's best game outside of his Age of Steam maps. I like it more than I like Clinic. And that's not to say I don't like Clinic, I do. Clinic's hard for me, because the 3D spatial I struggle with that. But I just love Small City. I think it's wonderful. Thank you for the stream of Small City. You are most welcome, Brianna and Corey. Spirit Island. I don't own it, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. Oh, in CO2. I forgot that. I would put that below Kanban. I enjoyed it, but didn't love it. And then Escape Plan at the bottom of them. And Krasimir says, yeah, about Tabletop Simulator or any of those online. Having paper and cardboard and plastic and wood and all that, the game in general in your hands is much better. But after all, a few weeks ago, I did a 4-player food chain magnet on Tabletop Simulator, and it was great. Exactly. Play it if you enjoy it. I highly recommend it. I'm just saying for me. And none of them actually own the physical copy. And we're all locked in at the moment. And other nice stuff. I get it. But I will also say this. Consider supporting your publishers and buying the games themselves, okay? One train game I want to get to the cable that I own but haven't played yet is Iberian Rails, Paul says, and GMO. There you go. All right. Oh, Peter says, don't know if you've answered this already, but sometime, but $20 or $25 chips for 18xx games. I'm a convert, 100% $20 chips for an 18xx. I'm a poker player, so I'm used to green $25 chips, okay? I've been playing poker in casinos since I was 18, so 26 years, 27 years, whatever. And I still prefer $25 chips. For 18xx, gray $20 chips, I am a convert on, 100%. Lawrence asks, which games do you think have the most interesting stock and share mechanisms? 18xx games? It's not even close. Far and away, that is the pinnacle of it, yes. I like the way it worked in GMO from your stream. Oh, don't get me wrong, any game with cross-investing I'm into. But which games do it the best? 18xx games, not even close. And Scott says, I made some Tabletop Simulator modules for Tom Russell to playtest some of his upcoming games, so I'll give a +1 to Tabletop Simulator as a playtesting medium. I also love using it to play games, but I get that it's not for everyone. Yeah, 100%. Chad, any shot at a Tricarian solo play? Uh-huh. It's already on the schedule, but I'll add it to the list just to make sure I don't forget it. Or I should say it's already planned. It's not on the schedule, but it's planned. And Chad says, I just bought 4X, which I found via Tabletop Simulator. There you go. Yeah, and Krasimir, a reminder, supporting the publishers is the way we get games. Because if you don't buy the games, publishers don't exist, which means you don't get games. So yes, play them online if you want, but also consider supporting the publishers and buying their games as well, guys. Have I played Rolling Stock? I played it a couple times years ago, but I couldn't get the appeal of it. It just didn't click with me. Would I be willing to do it again? Yes. And there are people in Slack that are jonesing for me to play that so that I could stream Rolling Stock. That's probably going to happen at some point. Ben asks, favorite non-gaming hobby? Two of them. Cooking and poker. Those are my two favorite. Soon to be video games and cooking, because I can't play poker other than online, and I don't want to right now. So yeah, far and away, playing poker and cooking are my two favorite hobbies. And eating Mexican food, for that matter. You know what? Yes, but eating quality food, like good food. And I'm not saying it has to be expensive. You can make good food relatively inexpensive. The problem is produce is expensive. Meat is expensive. So eating clean can be really expensive, which is kind of a bummer because all the cheap stuff is in the middle of the shopping of the store, right, and down the aisles. The expensive stuff's around the outside, but that's the fresh. Anyway, but yeah, cooking and poker, and soon to be video games again. Peter says, I've only downloaded modules to Tabletop Simulator for games I have on the shelf. I wouldn't say that you have to do that. If you want to download games that you don't own, absolutely do so. However, consider supporting the publishers and buying the games themselves if you find that you really enjoy them. By the way, this hasn't gone up yet today, so give it a thumb. If you guys do enjoy today's stream, give it a thumb. I appreciate it. Subscribe and consider supporting the show if you think it's worth $1 or $2 a month or whatever. Go to pledgehc.com. Support the show there. I would appreciate it, y'all. And apparently growing a beard is another hobby. Isn't poker a game? Yeah, and we keep score with money, I guess is a good way to put it. So cooking, video games, soon. I enjoy reading. I don't do it as much as I would like. Anybody who says they don't have time for it that's horse patooky. They don't make it a priority. They don't make the time for it, which I am guilty of. So I would like to read more than I do. What else? I would love to get back into building a railroad model train layout. I did that a little bit as a kid, and I would love at some point to get into that. That's why Miniature Wonderland is a bucket list place to visit. I want to see that. That is, yeah. What scale? Honestly, HO is what I know, but I would love to do like an N scale, I think. Model train layout. I would love to do that. Love to do that. So much. What else? Hobbies. Like, what am I into? I would like to get back into playing basketball when we're able, but like organized basketball games. If I get back in legit shape and my shoulders hold up, I would love to be able to get back to playing baseball, men's baseball league, 45 and over league, 44 and over, I think they are, but I would love to get back into that. Like baseball, not softball, baseball. I miss pitching, but I don't know if my shoulders will hold up. Watching shows. Would you consider that a hobby? I've been into Ozark. Oh my God, it's far-fetched at times, but I'm really enjoying that series. I am through season 2 of it, about to start season 3. Looking forward to that. So yeah, there you go. That's and The Wire is still the greatest show of all time. I will fight you on that. Oh, JT has Vinos as lowest. Thought we were friends, JT. Just saying. And JT, okay, we can be friends again. JT says, eating Mexican food is not a hobby. It's a way of life. What's the difference between the older version and newer version of Kanban? Only cosmetic. I have no idea. I only have the original Kanban. No idea. Dude, I need to talk to Eagle about this. Yep. Ashbjorn, I'm sorry, says all this talk about Mexican food makes me hungry for it. And my closest good Mexican joint's about 4 hours away in another country. Especially right now. My apologies. You know what that means, though, Ashbjorn? Make your own, dude. Yes. I mean, I imagine that there are Mexican food ingredients. You can get masa harina in the grocery store, can't you? Can't you? To be able to make your own corn tortillas. You can get pork. You get some chipotles, get some, pineapple, some onion, and some, I imagine you have some spices in your spice cabinet. As long as you have cumin and some chili powder, you can make something Mexican with that, right? There you go. Some lime, some jalapenos, some cilantro, you can, and some avocado. You can make some guac and some salsa. Damn it, now I know what I'm eating today. Okay. And Ben says, nice, been trying to read more during quarantine, but also cooking a lot. Awesome, good, yes. Favorite video game except Skyrim and The Witcher 3, Geralt 3. Favorite book, favorite thing to cook. Okay, favorite video game. Of all time, probably Final Fantasy Tactics, still my favorite. Final Fantasy 7, it's close. Arcade video game is Galaga or Miss Pac-Man, old school. Favorite book, still to this day, is The Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer, or The Stand by Stephen King. Favorite thing to cook? Best or favorite? Because those are different. Favorite thing to cook? Tacos. Best thing I make is pollo ciudad. Yeah. Mistborn from Brandon Sanderson. I have a bunch of books. Jess actually went to the library before the quarantine. I got a bunch of books up there. I'm not making the time for it. And I'll be honest, with the PS4 and Witcher 3 coming, and Last of Us and up, video games are going to take priority over reading right now. Because that's what I want to do to decompress, I think. But I still will make time occasionally to read. So, do I throw and bat left-handed? Yes, I am a lefty through and through. I pitched my whole life up until I was in my mid-30s. I tore my labrum pitching. Never had it repaired surgically, but it's okay now. But could it hold up to pitching anymore? I don't know. And I tore my rotator cuff, one of my muscles in my rotator cuff, on a swing and miss batting on a high inside pitch. I pulled my shoulder back and basically tore my own rotator cuff. And unfortunately, I had to finish the at-bat, and there was no way. I almost threw up. It hurt so bad in the batter's box, and I basically could only hold the bat like this, and I walked in my final at-bat ever. And that is now healed enough to where I could conceive the idea of doing it again. But I would have to get into shape. And I don't mean just from a running and all that. I mean, I need to build up the strength in my core and my shoulders to be able to do it. But if I want to bad enough, I will do it and I will give it a try. But yes, 100% left-handed. I play first base and pitch. So there you go. Have a pretty nasty two-seamer, good circle change, and a pretty good overhand curve. There you go. And Peter says, just about to start season 3 of Ozark. Awesome. You know, we're not talking a ton of video games or board games today. I'm okay with that. We are talking some, though. I know fellow Southpaws that have learned things wrong-handed because it getting forced on them. Nope. I have messed up this shoulder a number of times and was taught some things right-handed. Like, no. I mean, I know how to drive a stick because you have to, right-handed kind of, but yeah, yeah. JT binged Ozark in 2 weeks. Best show I've seen this year. Cool. Paul said Wonder Years is his favorite. All right. Scott says Fishing with John, greatest of all time show of all time. I've never seen it. I know nothing about this. I've never heard of it. He says The Wire is the greatest narrative show of all time. Okay. All right. We're of the same mind, Scott. And Ozark is one of the best Netflix originals. Yep. Michael? Martin says The Wire is outstanding. I'll throw in a recommendation for Jekyll. I haven't watched that. Okay, so hold on. Fishing with John. And Jekyll. Okay. Peaky Blinders. I started. I have to watch it with closed captioning because the accents, and I tend to watch shows like that with closed captioning because hearing's not the greatest because of being in aviation for the better part of 20 years. But yeah, I had to watch that with closed captioning. I enjoyed it, but didn't love it. Joe says, I know that you like mini rails as Thinky Filler. Do you have thoughts on the new Mini Express? You're going to see it on the show, so how about we wait for that? I played it once. I enjoyed it. So that's where we're at so far. We're going to be doing a sponsor playthrough of it during the Kickstarter. JT, can I talk to Clay about getting the rights to reprint Napoleon's Triumph? I can, but I would say it's highly unlikely because that's not going to be a capstone type game. Not going to happen. Ashbjorn says he makes a good chili con carne and other good Mexican veggie stuff. Let's be clear. Chili con carne is not Mexican. That is very much Texas. That is a Texan or a Tex-Mex thing. But yes. Mexican stuff's not common around here. Middle Eastern, Asian ingredients are more common. There's a lot of similarity between Asian and Mexican. I'm just saying. There's a lot of crossover there, but I guess that makes sense. I'll be honest, you don't see a lot of Mexican outside of North America, I don't feel like. It is very much a regional thing, it feels like, for the most part. Have I played and owned Mark Simonich's U.S. Civil War? Yes, and it was a Golden Elephant Award finalist. I think that is a gorgeous map, and I love that game, yes. Oh, yeah, I recall it getting a Golden Elephant nomination. You can't get a Golden Elephant nomination if I haven't played it. All I can think about recently is setting that bad boy up and soloing it while reading some Civil War books. Do it. That's awesome. By the way, can it be soloed? Other than playing the two-player side? I don't know. I don't think it can be, can it? Because the cards? Ooh. Ooh, hold on. It is recommended solo. Is it? Or is it a solo that you can play on both sides? I'm looking in the files real quick to see. Yeah, I don't know. But that's something, let me know. Michael Williams is Omar, and The Wire is the West. Omar be coming, yo. Now I want to watch The Wire again. Damn it, stop that, people. Stacy, yay, the stand in Galaga. You betcha. Rocky says, I tore my labrum playing quarterback, but did have it repaired. I did not. Galaga 88 is the best Galaga. How old are you, Scott? Have I played Pangea? Darkwing Duck asked. I did. And we played that 4-player. And we did one of the something somewhat rare when we played it. We learned it from the rule book during a game day here. And the production is gorgeous. It looked really good. Reading through the rule book had us really excited to play it, and then we played it. And I don't know that there was a bigger disappointment for us of any game that we have played this year. The game got wider when we felt that it should have gotten narrower, and it just left us, every single one of us, after our first play, we were like, do we need to play this again? Will we? If folks are willing to do it, I will. Because I want to see if maybe we didn't play it right, or maybe it was just the first play had us a little underwhelmed. And then maybe stream it if that's the case. But I got to be honest, nobody was wanting to play that again after the first play. So that was a pretty colossal disappointment for us. It looked good, had a great idea, and it sounded good, but it got wider where it should have gotten smaller, and it just left us underwhelmed. Yeah, that was a huge bummer. Krasimir says, I managed to read the whole Witcher series, but to be honest, I wouldn't try the game. I've seen it, and I would stop playing board games if I try it. Fair point, all right? Dennis? Is it Dennis W? BIOS Origins being available on Tabletop Simulator to explore more after watching your 4-player playthrough sold me. Wifey got it for me for Christmas. Awesome, I'm glad. Watch the solo playthrough too, Dennis. Aaron, what do you think of a shortened Major League Baseball season? I've heard the latest idea is 3 divisions, 100 games, starting in July, and like playing regionally. I'm all for it. Let's do it. You know what? Anything that gets us baseball, I'm in for. I think my Reds have a legitimate season ahead of them. They have a really good team this year. I am really excited. So, yes, I'm in. This is so good. Baseball is my first true love, so getting baseball back would be fantastic. It's going to be really weird to have my birthday in early June and not have baseball. That's never happened, obviously. So, yeah, it's just weird. I mean, understand, obviously, right? I support that. But, you know, if they can't, they can't. But I'll be honest, I've missed watching sports, but I haven't missed it as much as I thought I would, which is shocking to me. But I do miss having baseball on the radio, having it on in the background, or having it on TV, streaming it, whatever. I do miss it. Don't forget, give it a thumb down below. Support the show, pledgehc.com. Stephanie says, Miniature Wonderland here in Hamburg is really amazing. Whenever you're in Hamburg in the future, you'll have to go there. Oh, don't worry. It's going to happen at some point, Stephanie. And there are some amazing Mexican restaurants here in Hamburg as well. I'll be honest. When I go to Germany, I don't want to eat Mexican food. I want to eat German food. I'm going to butcher this, so I apologize. But Schweinsachse, I think is maybe close how you say it, is my indulgent meal whenever I'm in Germany. I try and have it every year. I did not last year. Schnitzel is amazing. Yeah, I love German food. You guys have really good food. Stephanie, when I come to Hamburg, though, I will be sure to touch base. All right? Jess and I will definitely be hitting you up and definitely be going to Miniature Wonderland. That is a bucket list thing for me in my life. Giovanni, hey, I hope you're doing well, my friend. It says, is it okay to shower again, or are we just allowed to wash our hands? Given this mop, shower often, early, yes. Speaking of driving a manual or stick, was looking forward to a trip to England before it all got canceled, just to see how much it would break my brain driving naturally. I don't know if I could, because everything's on the wrong side. By the way, one thing I learned, having a U.S. driver's license allows you to rent a car in Australia. So I did. when I was there in Australia. This was in 2001. 2001, when I was there in the Marine Corps. They shouldn't allow that because driving on the wrong side of the road and doing roundabouts, nope, bad idea. Terrible, terrible idea. Yeah, no. What's my favorite team in baseball? Michael says, the Reds. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan from as much as I can remember. I'll be honest, I don't remember following baseball a lot as a little kid, so I don't remember the Big Red Machine. But yeah, Eric Davis and Barry Larkin back in the early and mid 80s. Yeah, a huge Reds fan. I remember the 1990 sweep of the Oakland A's. I remember Eric Davis going yard off of Dave Stewart. So yeah, I a huge Reds fan. I follow the minors. Yeah, huge Reds fan. Oof, Brian, I had my labrum repaired before having my shoulder replaced. So you're like the $6 million man. Yeah, and JT says, I'm glad and sad to hear about my hearing stuff. Yeah, I also watch everything with closed captioning if there's an accent. I have to, or else I can't follow it. Great British Baking Show, which is definitely something that Jess and I have been watching the hell out of and going back through on Netflix. And I have to watch it with closed captioning as well. But that's all right. It's all right. It's made my sense of smell amazing. By the way, legitimately. They say when certain senses lessen, other senses are enhanced, and my sense of smell is very acute. Yep. Yeah, Stephanie says, just what I meant, come to Hamburg when traveling if possible again. Definitely. Hey, Ian. Hey, I'll just watch the second season of Fleabag in one sitting for the second time. It is quite good. All right, Fleabag. Onto the list it goes, Ian. Like, what an amazing time we live in right now, right? We're all trapped at home. We can play board games first and foremost, right? Either solo or over Skype and Zoom or whatever via streaming. Then there's stuff that I do. That's amazing. Then we can play video games, amazing video games. We can read amazing books. We can watch all to our heart's content all these series on Netflix or whatever it is. Oh my God, how amazing is this stuff, right? Wow. You know, there's a lot of bad going on in the world, whether it's our politics or whether it's COVID or any of these things. But how amazing is this stuff? There's so much good in the world and so much positive, good happiness and positive things and good things that come of this. So, hey, try and think of the positives, right? I'm trying. All right. Shrey, what's up? I don't know if you saw the props I gave on the tea earlier when a little mouse brought in all the tea that you brought by. Says, I will endorse The Wire as my favorite show. I also think Spaced, Edgar Wright TV show, is fantastic for people my age. So, Shrey, you're my age, right? You're mid-40s, I think, right? Spaced? I do not know this. Okay. Okay, Scott says, Fishing with John is a 6-episode series from 91. John Lurie goes on fishing trips with different celebrity each episode. Tom Waits, William Dafoe, and others. It's surreal, strange, and fantastic. Is this kind of, keep that in mind, but is it kind of like Inside the Actor's Studio type thing? Because I'll be honest, before I started the interviews, I had already seen a bunch of the Inside the Actor's Studio, and that was kind of the feel I was going for. So I'm curious if that's like that, Scott. All right. Has a Criterion Collection release. Okay, cool. Oh, non-concurrent since I'm vegetarian. Fair enough. And there you go, Ashbourne. Okay, and Ian says Jekyll's great. Similar team and approach to the recent Dracula miniseries. Okay, there you go. Giovanni says my fiance and I are binging The Office at the moment. The original Office or the U.S. Office? Because I love Ricky Gervais. So. Chris says, I remember a Mexican place in St. Andrews, Scotland, surprisingly decent. Oh, in U.S. Civil War, just solo both sides to the best of your abilities. The cards aren't really that much extra info. Okay. I'm going to add it to the list because I wouldn't have thought to do that. Because let's face it, this is going to go on for months, guys. So, all right. All right, take care, Vincent. Omar in the courtroom's an amazing scene. Omar on screen is amazing. But yes, I think that is one of the greatest characters. I think his scene with, with the cop outside like the train station. Oh my God, total brain cramp. I can't think of his name. The African-American what is his name? Anyway, that scene was also amazing. Omar just steals every scene he's in, though. But yeah, in the courtroom with the lawyer, oh, it's so good. Thanks, Paul. Bunk, thank you. Gah. Yes, that is an amazing scene as well. Oh, hey, Ian would be great as a cocktail hour. Maybe Martin Wallace? Oh, God, don't tease me. Hey, Ian, since you're still here, you want to do a cocktail hour sometime? One of us is going to have to do some day drinking. I'm just saying. But if you're willing, I think we ought to do that if you're down. Huh. Getting marked. Oh, that. Okay. JT says, I share your view of Pangea. Yes, unfortunately. All right, phasing player, 32. Used to collect retro video games when I was big into that scene for years. I played a whole bunch of old games. The biggest arcade in the world is also 30 minutes away from me with 600 plus games. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where is this, Scott? And favorite video games, like arcade games, Galaga, Miss Pac-Man, International Track and Field. I have never beaten the hammer throw, by the way. I'm sorry, I have. I've never beaten the high jump, ever, once, not once. God, I used to use the pencil trick with the pinky, but now just fingertips, but I miss International Track and Field. There is another one that is, like, I have no idea what the name is. I cannot remember. I'm also a huge fan of Rampart, but anyway, it is something like 1932, 1942. It's not the airplane one. It is, you have a crosshair, and it's a 2D kind of scroller where you have to go around and move the crosshair, and little guys pop up in windows, some holding hostages or whatever, and you have to shoot them. That's one of my favorite, and I cannot think of the name. I would be so impressed if anybody nailed that one. But anyway, yeah. Paul says, I still have an Atari. Awesome. I assume that's a 2600. Does it still work, Paul? That's amazing. JT, speaking of ways of life, do you have a meat smoker? I do not. I want a big green egg. I don't even have a grill anymore because I live in the apartment. I left it with the old house. I miss my Weber, not going to lie. I desperately would like a big green egg. So when I get a house again, I will own a big green egg. I want one so bad. Yes. Okay, technically that is a ceramic cooker. Let's be clear. I would also love to be able to smoke, to have a smoker, but I believe you can smoke with a big little green egg, big green egg, whatever. I believe you can. But yeah. If you like The Wire and you haven't watched The Shield, do it, Ian says. You got with video games and the show, I'm not going to have time for all this, but I'm going to, you know what? Going to do this. Paul, an Atari NES, NES 64, a couple of PS1s, PS2, also my PS4 and a Wii for the kids. It's not for the kids, don't lie. Wii bowling, it's amazing. Don't lie. It's okay, Paul. I don't own Baseball Highlights 2045, Giovanni. And the reason is I have always been of the mind that whenever it comes to sports games, I have to have licensed stuff. I have to have it realistic. That's why Stratomatic Baseball is one of my favorite board games. I love I love it. Like Out of the Park Baseball, if we're talking video games, that's more PC sim, but Out of the Park Baseball, it's got to have the real teams. I've always been that way. So I have such a hard time with something like Baseball Highlights 2045. I really do. So, yeah. If the NFL postpones, there'll be riots. That's all right. Nightmare Giraffe. How in the world am I a Cowboy fan and a Reds fan? My dad, I grew up in Portland, Oregon. We don't have baseball or football teams. And so I grew up a Barry Larkin and Eric Davis fan. I mean, come on. Watching Eric Davis's little... Oh, it was amazing. And plus, he was a center fielder, and he could... he was so good. Left field, whatever. And a Cowboy fan because my stepdad, who I consider my real dad when I met when I was 9, he was a Cowboy fan, so I grew up a Cowboy fan. There you go. It's that simple. I'm a mutt. Oh, I'm going to get one, Paul. Don't worry. Flotilla, that's coming as well. Archery with traditional bows, Peter says. You don't have to go above a 35-pound draw strength to have a lot of enjoyment. For me, it's a form of meditation. I enjoy shooting, like with rifles and like AR-15. So I took Jess shooting a couple of times. I took her once up into the plains in Colorado. Matt and I went out one time. He has an AR-15. He has an AK-47. He has a bunch of pistols. He's got shotguns and all of that. And I'm a Marine rifle expert, so I know how to fire. I know how to shoot. And I love it. That, to me, is an amazing way. It's kind of like to archery to you. Archery doesn't really appeal to me except in games. Like in Horizon Zero Dawn, yes, please, that's awesome. But anytime in RPGs where I can do death from afar, i.e. snipers, stuff like that, that's my favorite type of stuff, whether it's a bow or whatever. So I like shooting in real life. I don't own any guns or any rifles or anything. I do want to at some point for just to be able to go out and shoot. I really enjoy that. That's therapeutic to me. So I get that. And I Jess wanted to go for Valentine's Day last year, and that was awesome. That was a blast. We had a lot of fun. I got to shoot a M1 Garand for the first time. Oh my God, that's heavy, and that thing, that kicks like a mule. Woo! That's a big gun. That's a big rifle, not a gun, big rifle. But that was pretty cool. That was pretty bad. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, Jess, I don't know if you heard her. Loved it. There you go. All right, Darkwing Duck, I appreciate the thoughts on Pangea, waiting for the Kickstarter to arrive. Like I said, I'm willing to give it another try if the locals are. I don't know if they are, though. I just watched a show on the best buffet in Vegas at Caesar's Palace. It was a YouTube video from Eater that looked awfully tasty. The attention to detail was nice. Lawrence says, I'm from the UK, went on a driving holiday in the US, drove on the wrong side so much. Fortunately, Arizona seems to be entirely empty, so no one to crash into. When you go Arizona, Utah, southern Colorado, there, a lot of openness. New Mexico, a lot of open road there. It's beautiful, though. God, I love that landscape. Like, if I were to ever retire out there, I would be okay with that. Krasimir says, not sure if it's the proper place to ask. Ask what you want. Whether or not I'll answer it, that's fine. How's Amanda doing? Last I heard, she is doing well down in Florida. Haven't heard anything about her for a long time. She and I don't stay in touch, but we're friendly enough when we do touch base for, hey, I got a piece of mail, or hey, can you send me this, or whatever. It's friendly enough. But last I heard, she's doing well. So I wish her nothing but the best. Titanium and plastic shoulders for the win. At least it doesn't hurt anymore. Hey, ultimately, that's all that matters. Chronic pain is nothing to be, is no joke there, Brian. Ready, set, bake. Yes, such a great baking show. It's amazing. I don't like reality TV, but my God, do I love that. And I cry. I cry more than I care to admit on that show. I am such a sap. Yep. And yes, heightened sense of smell definitely makes tea that much more enjoyable. We still have about this much, so that's when the Ask the Elephant ends. So there we go. I pronounced Schweinsachse absolutely correct. Yes! Schnitzel is originally from Austria. Okay, from that area, all right? But very popular here as well. Make sure you get in contact before you get here. I'll show you around. Done. Stephanie, 100%. Oh, Spaced is largely the same team that went on to make Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, etc. in similar style. Nice. Okay. Chris would like to see U.S. Civil War. Okay. Just finished watching Apollo 13 with my girlfriend, Vince says. Benefit a cross-cultural relationship. She had no frame of reference for the story of how it unfolded and how it resolved, so it was totally fresh for her. That's really cool. Peter, plans for heavy cardboard around the world? Yeah, when life gets back to available, that's going to restart. I still owe James down in now Memphis, Tennessee, which I'm not going to lie, from a personal, just selfish standpoint, the fact that James, who won the last drawing, moved from Eastern Tennessee to Memphis, I cannot tell you how happy I am about that, because the single greatest barbecue place that I have ever eaten at, the pulled pork sandwich at Interstate Barbecue and Interstate Barbecue in Memphis, is there. I'm so excited to be able to go for that. But yeah, it will start back up once travel is feasible and reasonable, okay? Take care, Joe. Oh, okay. Fishing with John, hard to explain. Not necessarily a serious show, but not obviously a comedy. Hard to tell if people are playing characters or not. Okay. Okay, and Ian says I can probably be talked into having a daytime drink. Done. We are going to do this then, Ian. I will be in touch. All right. Okay, Scott, that sounds bizarre. I'm in. I'll give it a try. Hogan's Alley. Never could get into that. Galloping Ghost is the arcade in Bloomfield, Illinois, just outside Chicago. Good to know, Scott. All right. And the Atari 26 still works, or 2600 still works. Coleco. I was too poor to ever have a ColecoVision, but I would go over to my friend's house. And I remember playing Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. When the ColecoVision came out, and that being an amazing thing. Having the little joystick, it was the weirdest controller, other than maybe the Intellivision controller. But oh, do I have fond memories of playing that game. Woo! Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. Commodore 64. Never got into that. Wait, no, an Amiga computer. Earl Weaver's baseball. We had so much fun creating the stadiums and the classic teams from the 20s and 30s in that game, more than playing the game for Earl Weaver's baseball. I love that so much, making the stadiums. That was so good. Oh, it was so much fun. Ashbjorn, big green egg, high on my wanted list. When I get a house also, yes. Rocky, need a whiskey to fill up my now empty decanter. Hey, it's 3 o'clock. It's all right. Go with it. Battle Boar is a great football board game, Derek says. Okay. Spaced is so good. All right, take care, Giovanni. Time for the office. It's US version. All right. And Krasimir, a friend of mine bought an Xbox for his kids. A bag of games have been played there, none by his kids. See, I get that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES, one of my most frustrating games of all time. Oh, JT, it's on. Says, bro, if you visit Denver again, and I'm going to. I have my Marine Corps tattoo I need to get finished by an artist there. So Denver's going to happen. Plus, I want to go back and see Matt and Banker Dave and all that, and Michael and Bryant. That's going to happen. He says, we'll crack open my gun safe and have some Zen time on the range. Dude, 100% yes. Jess just yelled, in. So yes, that will happen when we can travel up there. And Brian says an M1 is amazing to shoot. Man, that thing is a tank. That is so heavy. Whew. All right, take care, Ian, but we'll hook it up for sure. Okay, it's pronounced Dennis. As a fellow baseball fanatic, ever consider playing anything like out of the park baseball? A heavy cardboard league would be fun. Here's the problem with it. I would love, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal, Dennis. I'll make you a deal. I don't know if you're, I don't recognize the name. I don't know if you're a patron, but if you are, and we can have somebody willing to be commish, I am not. I do not have the time. But if somebody is willing to be a commish, I am willing to run a team in out of the park baseball, a heavy cardboard league. I totally would. So if you want to help organize, oh, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm totally down. I am a huge out of the park baseball fan. I haven't played it since 14, 16. It's been a while, but yeah, I'm willing. Oh, Justin says, I use an FN Fall SLR L1A1 in my reserve days in the British reserves. I think TA, is that the reserves? Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, on its high gas settings, it kicks like a shotgun. Really interesting. That's cool. Rocky, I will be doing a drive to Cincinnati at some point. I may fly when things, we'll see. But that trip to Cincinnati to visit Clay, to record a podcast, among other things, is definitely going to happen. Take care, Martin. Oh, Brendan says, I live half a mile from Galloping Ghost. That'd be amazing, not gonna lie. Like, do they have a thing like you go in, you pay some amount and all the games are free? Or is it like Nickelodeon, you pay nickels? Or is it anything like that, guys? Played so much summer and winter games on a Commodore 64. In television and a D&D game for it, yes. They have a second arcade just full of pinball machines. Addams Family, Haunted Mansion. Oh, yeah, that would be amazing. I would love that. The arcade in Portland is Ground Control. There's a little tiny one here. There was one really good one in Denver. But the one here, is it one player or it's a bar slash small little mini arcade? That was cool. Oh God, California Games. Oh, I remember that. Take care, Vince. Thanks for hanging. Come on, y'all, give it a thumb down below. There's a bunch of y'all watching. Please, I would appreciate it. Ah, Galloping Ghost is in Brookfield, not Bloomfield. Okay, or the R in L, it happens. Peter says, I can confirm the Memphis barbecue pulled pork sandwich. Yeah, Interstate Barbecue specifically. He goes to school in Nashville. Yeah, I can't wait to go visit James. Not just for the barbecue sandwich, but there's that. Oh, Aaron's got to go brave the grocery store. It is a surreal experience going to the grocery store nowadays, I got to say. All right, going to make some homemade cheese. If you guys haven't watched, what's his name? What's the name of the show? Curd Nerds, he calls them. I think he's from Australia. It's amazing. Making homemade cheese on YouTube. Fantastic. You're welcome, Aaron. Enjoy that. What kind of homemade cheese are you making? $20 for the whole day and everything's open in the arcade. That's awesome. All right, take care, Shrey. Good hearing from you. Thank you for the tea. Discs of Tron, one of my all-time faves as a kid. Yes, Eric. Vegas has the Pinball Hall of Fame. Yes, they also have the sign graveyard, which I never got to when I was in Vegas, and that was a huge regret. But I assure you, playing poker, I will go back to Vegas, so I will get a chance to visit that at some point. I have not, Brendan. I've not tried any of David Turtzi's style automatons, but the first one you're going to see is Tricarian. Paul lives 3 blocks from the Pinball Hall of Fame. All right, so Paul, when I go back to Vegas, do you play poker, Paul? John Flea, greetings from Croatia. How awesome is this? Like, that's amazing to me. Cheers. All right. All right, Murr says Rendezvous Barbecue in Memphis. Lived there 11 years, love it. Of course, it's hard to get bad barbecue in Memphis. There are more barbecue places than there are McDonald's in Memphis. Yes, Murr. Rendezvous, I don't know it, but I will have to try it. Hey, guess what? I caught up. 2 hours. 3 hours. I started at noon, 3 hours. God, this is such good tea. Oh, so good. I wonder how that would make sweet tea or iced tea with that. I'm curious. And Paul, I have and do occasionally. All right. Well, when I come to Vegas, Paul, when I say I'm going to, ping me. We'll touch base. Murr says 3 Little Pigs is the best BLT I've ever had, also in Memphis. There's around half pound to 3 pounds of 3/4 pounds of bacon, a little less lettuce, and a little tomato. You betcha. I dig it. Yes. All right. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat, and I don't know. I'm going to do something that's on this list. I think I'm going to go look at some Beyond Solitaire videos and watch some more Ozark, I think. But definitely eat. That's going to be really high on my priorities right now because I'm really, really hungry. Oh, and the post office because I need to pick up Mini Express. Oh, James, that's right. He doesn't eat meat, so Memphis doesn't offer me any food options. Hold on. James, there have got to be a barbecue place that does vegetables. We're going to find one and we're going to eat there when I come to town. We'll find something, I promise. But I'm also going to hit Interstate Barbecue. Okay? All right. And good, Paul. Peter, last question. I'm cutting it off on this one. Peter, having played 1830, 1846, and 1889, what 18XX do you think is a good one to try next? How many players? And honestly, it depends what style of game you like. If you like more operational and you like the auctions, I would say, 1822 is fantastic, or any of the variants that have broken off of 1822, or 1880 is a bit of an odd duck, but is really good and well thought of. 1860, 1862. Yeah, oh, there you go. Yeah, 1862 or maybe 1822 MRS. Yeah, the medium scenario. Yeah, there you go. All right, good. It's possible, James says. I'm in. All right. All right, good to know. Murr says rendezvous, maybe. All right. 1849, maybe. Good. There you go. Hopefully that answers that. Thank you, everybody that hung out with me today. It was a fun 3 hours for me. And it was a lot more relaxing than some of the live streams, so I appreciate that. Tomorrow, I am going to be playing the Hunters off-screen to get ready for the playthrough on Saturday of the Hunters. So hopefully you guys join me for the Hunters, and then on Saturday, check that. The Hunters on Saturday, Ground Floor on Sunday. Then it's going to be a couple days of video games. The weekly look ahead will be Monday at noon as well. Both of these, I believe, are at noon on their respective days, Eastern. Noon Eastern on Saturday for the Hunters, noon Eastern Sunday on Ground Floor. Hopefully you guys join me for that. Again, I'm Edward, the host of Heavy Cardboard. Give it a thumb down below, subscribe, consider supporting the show over on pledgehc.com. I certainly would appreciate it. And check out the podcast stuff. James will be doing the first cocktail hour, hopefully today. We'll be releasing that on the podcast here soon, and there will be a bunch more content coming to the podcast soon. So thanks, everybody. I will see you guys on Saturday. Take care, everybody. Bye.